asked me what my sort of journey was, or how I transitioned from milkier coffees to black coffee. It's not that I don't drink milky coffees. Sometimes I do, but with much less milk. But it's mostly black. Like 90% of the time I'm just having pour-overs or Americanos. If anybody else is curious, if anybody else has the same question of how they can transition from milkier coffees and get into more intense coffees, which is usually the perception of black coffee, I guess I'll talk about my own path and where I started from and where I am now and why. I think I really got into specialty 4 years ago, and it happened with the advent of Percentage Arabica opening up close to home, and that was really my first exposure to specialty. Going in there, like looking at all the different bean offerings that they had, like it was pretty exciting. So I would usually just err on the side of getting lattes or flat whites. I heard about flat whites on social media somewhere and it stuck. Now it's become a huge trend, especially in the UK. I used to drink like caramel frappuccinos from Starbucks and all that jazz, with like syrups and more sugar. I think what changed is the fact when you have specialty, it sort of gives you a very different flavor from what commercial coffee such as Tim Hortons or Starbucks or Caribou, Costa Coffee, all of those offer. And I don't know, I think it took a while for it to develop on my palate, but it did, and I started noticing subtle differences, and I think the most major difference that you notice is bitterness. So once you try specialty, you notice that bitterness isn't an overwhelming quality in the coffee. You taste, there's varying amounts of acidity. There's varying amounts of, I guess, like different flavor notes or properties. And it's much more complex than commercial coffee is, which pulled me in. And I think I went from stuff like flat whites to cortados or macchiatos or stuff like that, and which has a much less ratio of coffee to milk. And I think what really grabbed me and pulled me in was when I started doing pour-overs. Now the thing is, when you do pour-overs, you're really you're getting everything out of a coffee that it has to offer as far as pleasant flavors and taste is concerned. Yeah, it all comes down to, I guess, the quality of your coffee. So I think the first time that I really did change my mind, I guess, about what I can taste in black coffee apart from bitterness is when I first tried a Chemex pour-over from, I think it was from Panther Coffee, that is a wonderful specialty coffee place in Miami. It's brilliant. I think it was, I can't remember the exact origin. It's very bright. There was a bit of acidity to it. It had a bit of fruitiness as well. I'm not too sure what the process was and all the technical stuff, but I loved it and I really enjoyed what I was tasting from it. And that kind of started my transition towards having just black coffee, because you understand that you're not really just getting bitterness. There's a whole lot of other things you're getting. As long as you're using higher quality coffee beans, you're using a good temperature and all the other kind of things on the checklist for extracting a good cup of coffee. But yeah, it's a step-by-step process. It's not something that happened overnight. I think once you get a taste of what high-grade coffee has to offer, as snobby as that sounds, you really can't go back. Not to say that I don't have commercial coffee still. I will have like a Nescafe or something from Costa or Starbucks or whatever is there. So I think that's it. I hope that answers the question of how I transition towards black coffee. That's not to say that having coffee with milk is a bad thing, because there's certain coffees that taste really good with milk. It really depends. Every coffee has something different to offer, and you can kind of pick and choose according to whether you like milk or you don't like milk, or you want to taste everything that there is in a certain coffee, and that's fine. Like, it all depends on where you're at and what you're looking to feel and taste. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I hope that answers something. I hope that provides some sort of value. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Stay safe, take care, and don't get run over by a bus. Bye.